I knew Avowed was going to flop. A lot of you also came to that conclusion, but I didn't realize how bad things were going to get. Now, on release date, we talked about how it ended up peaking in on and around 16,500 and at time of recording, Thursday evening, of course. So, ahead and a little bit ahead of its first launch weekend. Things could pick up a little bit, but I would be surprised if it goes anywhere north of 25,000, and I think that might even end up being a little bit generous. But this is wild, okay? Because it's a game that people have checked out over this past week, and well, it just looks that's about the most accurate assessment that I can give it. Like, the people that have played it said, yeah, no, I'm having somewhat fun with it. Probably going to be something that nobody's really going to remember in about a month's time, but general consensus is it's better than I expected, but not really changing the game at all whatsoever. This isn't Obsidian's Skyrim, even though it looks like a great value Skyrim. I mean, those comparison videos are out there. Shout out to the one guy who did, like a side-by-side comparison. Go out there and check those out. It's kind of wild how close some of the animations are, especially when it comes to physics simulators, or simulations rather. But the cope is pretty strong. People say, "Oh, what do you care if it looks like Skyrim? Why are people all caught up on X, Y, and Z?" But the spin is strong, but the number men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. 17,000 peak concurrent players. That's a problem. That's a big problem. And yeah, it doesn't tell the entire story. I've been very honest and open about this because Obsidian was acquired as a part of the big Bethesda ZeniMax deal by Xbox, by Microsoft. It's a game that came out day and date on Game Pass, but as it is pointed out accurately, Avowed is the perfect Game Pass game because nobody wants to pay for it. Yeah, because very few people actually want to play it. But Dragon Age the Veilguard. The Veilguard was on EA's subscription service, and it dwarfs Avowed's performance. Same with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. It's actually in a similar situation to Avowed, in so much as nobody was really anticipating much. In fact, all of the pre-release hype for that one, it was severely undercut by, once again, Bethesda and their stupid side-shaved developer with the rainbow shirt on, and everybody rolling their eyes going, oh my god, it's going to have a girl boss in it. And way too many people gave that game the benefit of the doubt, saying, it was fine. It felt like Indiana Jones, but it's like, did you play it? Did you watch that shit? Like, the AI was busted, and yeah, cool, you could do a QTE version of the Raiders intro scene, but yeah, that shit was busted, bro. That was a bad game. And same with Avowed. It's the poster child for the same phenomenon we found in a different medium from last year. Well, the game's not, like, from what I'm seeing so far and from what I'm hearing, it's not terribly woke. It's not like over the top obnoxious with any of its personal politics. It ended up getting painted with that brush. It ended up catching that Veilguard air about it, and kind of like Furiosa last year and how it died at the theaters. Once you get that badge of dishonor, once you get that scarlet W on you, people will ignore and avoid your game like never seen before. Which is why all the attacks on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, it didn't end up landing. Like, the game is still probably getting close to, 6-digit concurrent player counts, is selling, millions of copies at this point in time. And even when it is found out to have some questionable age-related relationships, it doesn't much matter. Because people want to play the medieval game, they want to play a more traditional RPG, and the Bible thumpers be damned. And that's why this right here, unless it was something transcendent, unless it was something that was going to redefine the industry, people weren't going to give it a second look, and because of its tepid word of mouth, it's very likely to just peak on this weekend. Like, obviously, this Saturday or Sunday, it's going to hit its top player count, which will probably be in the 20s. I'll be shocked if it hits the 30s. And then that'll be it for it. People will be moving on to what Monster Hunter Wilds comes out next week. And if people were hoping for unabashed cringe with this, well, a month removed, we've got Assassin's Creed Shadows. So yeah, this is going to be a game that people are going to look back on and go, all right, remember in February when Avowed came out? That's wild. Sucks that Obsidian got shut down. They used to do some good stuff, but oh well. Get woke, go broke. That'll be the cycle towards the end of the year. Anticipate more news on that probably, I don't know, like October or some shit. But looking at other slop that's on the menu right now, and something that, I don't know, people were looking forward to, anticipating. You have a once interesting studio in Don't Nod. You guys remember me. No, I didn't stutter. No, I didn't stammer over that. There was an interesting concept of a game that came out of the French development studio way back in the early days of the Xbox 360 PS3. They had a neo-futuristic Paris. They had a female protagonist, and it was a game that, people generally liked and appreciated because they were doing some interesting stuff. And then Don't Nod they kind of started to go down the whole Telltale Games route, which I always thought those games were wildly overrated, and I did not shed a tear when that studio got closed down, because holy Christ, I like point and click games as much as the next people. Shout out Sam and Max. I mean, do we really need it for every pathetic modern franchise out there? I mean, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Their most recent game, Lost Records, well, it's exactly what you anticipate it would be. Okay, we don't really need any sound on this one, but it's very reminiscent, is very much cut from the same cloth as damn it, I forgot the name of that stuff right here. Okay, yeah, of Life is Strange. Okay, you see what else they're doing. Yes, Remember Me, Tell Me Why, Vampire. Yeah, okay, but oh yeah, yeah, getting hit over the head. You got a group of girls that are all selecting and clicking different boxes, coming from of course Quebec. But yeah, back in oh my God, you tell me. Okay, yeah, this is 1995, and that's what your average friend group looks like. I mean, bro, come on. Nobody believes this stuff. Nobody thinks for a minute that's what anybody's friend group looks like. Okay, I was in kindergarten in 95, and I understand that I went to kindergarten in a suburb of Edmonton, capital of Alberta. I guess if you want to know specifically where it is, I'll make you guys jump through a couple of hoops there. It was in the city where that's not her name, Evangeline Lilly was born. Okay, there you go. This was a long ass time ago, and my best friend, he was actually Filipino. We would stay up all night playing Mortal Kombat on the Sega Genesis. Oh, it was a fun time to be alive. But in general, man, that's kind of how guys run. Okay, well, you'll have a quote-unquote diverse friend group consisting of different body types and different people. But when you take a look at female friend groups, like, as somebody who would commiserate with the girls back in the cut, especially in elementary school before things, definitely started to get a lot more segmented, the girls who would hang out with girls would look very much like similar girls. So that right there, it's like, you already know what time it is. And we know that Don't Nod, and we know their previous affiliations. SBI rings a bell. Yeah, exactly. But this game right here has been out for a minute. Okay, we've seen its release date numbers. We have seen its release weekend numbers, and well, they would die for the Avowed numbers, because Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, 771 players right now. Hey, it could have gone up by the time that I brought up these numbers. Okay, it's actually gone down. 580 players right now, 1,400 people in the past 24 hours. 1990. Oh man, if you would have just got 5 more, it would have been thematically on point. But that's tough, man. That's real tough. Like I said before, okay, we got some under the hood information from the Life is Strange creative team, and well, really does tell you all you need to know about this flop. Life is Strange creative director on the decision to delay Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, plus a tease of the game's magical elements. Oh my God, what are people missing out on? We're just days away from the launch of Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, and the new game from the team behind the first 2 Life is Strange games. Keep that in mind for a second. Following a lengthy development and an unusual delay into 2025, video games often skirt the launch of rivals to avoid launch date clashes into the release calendar, but the situation was more unique for Lost Records team, as in that the clash it wanted to avoid was from the latest entry in the series it initially founded. Like I said, put a pin in that for a moment. Life is Strange, multi-part series, though more recent entries developed after you guys left the franchise have been standalone. What are you thinking about having, what was the thinking behind splitting Bloom and Rage, and why did you decide on launching it in 2 halves? I noticed that I'm not invested as much in Netflix shows. I beg your pardon? Oh, this is the thought process behind this, okay, in creating these, pseudo point and click feelings and complaining simulators. Yeah, it's like these binge shows that we watch. Oh, okay, cool, completely and totally disposable. slop content about the games. Yes, postponement. Yeah, before concluding. Yeah, the halves for. Oh, and it's concluding half. So yeah, this is half of a game. Oh, that'll explain it away. It's kind of like Avowed, right? Because it's on Game Pass. Oh yeah, this isn't a complete game, so that's why it's not performing that well. But I was watching some TV shows on Apple TV and HBO and sticking to weekly releases, and I found I was investing way more. Yeah, that's totally different than a video game, which in the realm of single player games, normally if you release a complete narrative, that's it. It's done and dusted. You can move on. And if you want to iterate on that story, you release another game. No. We wanted to do episodic long after the consumer is done with that type of model. But how is it working out for Don't Nod Studios? Let's just say they may or may not have reason as to why they're splitting their games up in multiple parts, is to try to milk as much money as possible. Because just in the past month alone, I mean, normally when you're charting stock prices, you want to see them go up, and here I was thinking I wouldn't find anything performing worse than Ubisoft stock, but bro, oh boy, you're talking about a company that is on the brink of collapse. And yeah, Don't Nod, I guess they're probably racing Ubisoft into bankruptcy, because this is not good. Okay, year to date, oh my god, the last 5 years, oh my bro, what is going on here? Like, they used to be one of those up and coming studios, and the franchise that they really made their name on, like Life is Strange, that was a critical darling, and people love those games, right? Well, they love them so much that the people now developing those titles, they're also facing a similar fate. Life is Strange Double Exposure Deck 9 announces its second round of layoffs in 2024. Yeah, imagine that. Games the people have accurately assessed as being DEI laden slop lose big in recent years, laying off 20% of its staff in early 2024. Life is Strange Double Exposure Studio Deck 9 has announced that it's been hit with more layoffs to end the year. In a statement posted to Twitter, Deck 9 game CEO Mark Lyons wrote that they'd have to say goodbye to some of our talented team members, but didn't specify how many would be affected by the cuts. Exactly, because you take a look at the performance of Life is Strange Double Exposure. IGN gave it a 9, so that means the critics must love it, right? Oh shit, 60 people playing it right now, 8,500 people all time. Yeah, with the Steam with the Steam reviews, it's sitting at a cool 68%. Yeah, that's a wrap for all these slop games, bro. But here's the thing, thanks to, game development cycles, we're still going to have to wade through the shit for a little while longer. And what are we, a month removed from Assassin's Creed Shadows? It's only going to get worse before it gets better. But hey, at least it's going to get funny. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I'm in Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after. I forgot my own name. This is how dumb this stuff is. Take care, everyone.